What is up, guys? Welcome back to episode number 15 today of the Huddersfield Town Career Mode. If you missed the last episode, I'll go over what happened in it for you right now for whatever reason. But if you do not want the episode spoiling, I recommend you guys go back and watch it. Of course, for anybody who didn't, we played the Carabao Cup final against Spurs, and it was an unbelievable game. In terms of the result, I'm about to spoil it. We came out as 3-2 winners after extra time in a game where Spurs, for the most part, dominated. They had most of the chances and really probably deserved to get the victory and maybe get even their hands on the cup. So we got quite lucky in that one. We at least got some silverware from the season, though. And as you can see right now on the screen here, guys, we are looking at the league table. Now, I did show you it very briefly just before that, but I'm going to show you it again here because I forgot to really talk about it, and I thought I wanted a bit more time. As you can see, we are sat in second place with a game in hand, but the team top currently are Watford. Now, Liverpool do have a game in hand, so if they win that one, they'll go 7 points behind Watford. But the thing is, like, would this be a realistic series if Watford were to win the league? Now, a lot of you guys said to make it harder for me by adding sliders to the mix, which I did, of course. We played with those sliders against Spurs in that final and stuff like that. But I actually didn't realise that in one of these games later on, I'd actually accidentally knocked the sliders off. Basically, they travel over series, so I took them off on one of my other series, I think it was the My Player one, and it meant that it actually got taken off this one. So for the second game of today's episode, guys, I play it on 50, the default ones, rather than with the slider settings that we have to make it more difficult for ourselves. But actually, it was still quite tough, the game that I played. I don't know if EA have patched it or anything to make the game a little bit more tough, and maybe I should try it out without using sliders and see if it's going to be, as tough as it should be for me. But certainly, guys, this first game against Spurs was a chance for Spurs to redeem themselves. They lost in that final, didn't they, in the Carabao Cup, literally the episode just before this, now that we're going to go into this, guys. And we're coming into this one after that victory, and we're back at Wembley. So exactly the same venue, exactly the same matchup, pretty much going to be exactly the same team as well that plays for us and them. And as you can see right now, in terms of the top scoring teams in the division, we are currently top of that list. Now, having two of the most scorers in the division certainly helps that cause, so I can't really say that it's surprising, to be honest with you, but certainly to see Watford 5 points clear of us, even though we do have a game in hand, that is just crazy. It's mind-blowing, man. And imagine if we can't catch them, and if Liverpool don't catch them, Watford are going to win the Premier League title in our first season of this series. It's just crazy, absolutely crazy. So full credit to Watford, they're doing a very good job right now. But this game for us, guys, did not start off well at all. The first game we played here at Wembley, the one in the other episode with the final we played, we actually got off to a good start. We took the lead, didn't we, in that one? But this one could not find my bearings, and we ended up giving away a very, very sloppy penalty. Dele Alli bursting past, I think it was Jorgensen, and he just tumbles him down in all seriousness. So Harry Kane, like he had in the final, gets a chance from the spot kick this time, and it is going to go to the right-hand side, but he hit the post and could not take advantage of his early chance. So luckily for us, it is still 0-0. And 25 minutes in, we got our first chance of the game. Ince on the ball, gave it to Smolov. Smolov sees the run of Marcus Rashford. Can't quite use him just first time, but eventually cuts it back. Tries to curl one in and cannot find the top corner. Instead, he finds the palms of Michel Vorm, who ends up putting it out eventually for a corner, which Rob Holding ends up with a ridiculous volley from, which very nearly ended up in the back of the net had Vorm not have made that save as well. And as we came out for the second half, we began to build some momentum going forward. Marcus Rashford had this chance, which in all seriousness, I meant to do a low-driven shot there, and I ended up skying it. I got it completely wrong. Didn't do the button clicks quick enough. But then 53 minutes in, Dele Alli, who honestly was brilliant all day long, lovely footwork on the edge of the area, plays a very nice through ball as well to Cuadrado, and he makes no mistake with the finish. Our 16-year-old, of course, debutant in the last episode in that final in Hull, cannot keep out Cuadrado from 4 or 5 yards out there. So we're 1-0 down, guys. And to be honest, Dele Alli had caused me danger all afternoon long. Marcus Rashford, though, ends up with a really good chance for himself there, but can't find the back of the net because, again, Michel Vorm makes the save. And that was the way the game would end. So, I mean, it's disappointing, but if you'd have said to me, you're going to beat them in the Carabao Cup final but lose them in the Premier League, 100% I would have taken that. So, yeah, I suppose it's a little bit of redemption for Spurs. It's, you know, revenge on us in that sense. Going back to Wembley, it was always going to be tough, but truth be told, like, you know, if I just defended better in that Dele Alli, you know, pass through to Cuadrado, it would have ended 0-0. And I mean, I did have, I would say, the better of the chance in that one, barring that one from Dele Alli and the spot kick. So, you know, I felt kind of like if I'd have put away my chances, maybe it would have been a different story, but sadly not quite. And we did end up with the defeat in our first game. But straight out of that one, we go into the second one. Obviously, here is where I realized that everything was on 50, but then I made my decision to keep it that way because obviously with the patch and stuff, I wanted to try out to see if the AI was going to be, you know, as good without me having to use sliders. Because if you remember back to the first time we played against West Brom, it was a very close game that ended 2-1. So in my mind, I was thinking, you know what? In terms of what I would be saying to be a tough game, this is it. At the Hawthorns, West Brom, I'm going to play it on without sliders and see exactly if they can give me a really good game. But as you can see right there, 6 points behind Watford now with a game in hand still, chasing them down as best we can do. We'll have to see if we can do it. I think we were 6 points behind. We could have been more actually after that defeat earlier on. But there is the team that West Brom have. In fact, we might have even been more behind. What am I talking about? But anyways, Hall in this one starts again as 16-year-old goalkeeper. Sadly, if you saw the news just before this, the email that came in, Smolov had picked up an injury for 3 weeks. So the top scorer of the Premier League season right now is currently out injured. So Marcus Rashford leads the line for us today. And again, we didn't start off brightly because it was an early warning signs for us as West Brom went close there with Burke with a strike going wide of the post until the 36th minute. Lapara picks up the ball, gives it to Schindler to Rashford. Rashford on his own up top. How could he do leading the line today was going to be the question mark. But Kachunga, great work. And Van Lapara, who started the move off, makes a bursting run to get back into the middle of the box before finishing it off as well. So full credit to Van Lapara. He started the move off and he finishes it off as well. There you go. Good finish from him. And we ended up taking the lead here. So disappointing start to the episode with the defeat to Tottenham. But we get the lead here in this game against West Brom. The question mark now is going to be whether or not we can hold on to it. That's going to be the big problem for us. But 45 minutes in, I thought we'd found a second goal. And Kachunga picks up the ball here on this right-hand side. Gives it to Marcus. Marcus with a shot. Ends up going wide of the post. I wasn't expecting to see that one burst the back of the net. But in truth be told, it wasn't too far away. It actually goes through the legs of the West Brom defender there. Otherwise, I think he probably should have blocked it in all seriousness. But that was the end of the first half chances. And then second half started, second half finished. Literally nothing happened, guys. Both teams I just looked to shut up shop. West Brom tried their best to try and break through. But then I was able to defend against it. And it was fairly a simple task at the end of closing out that 1-0 win. So Van Lapara's goal, the difference. He started the move off and he finished the move off as well. And it was good that he did so because otherwise we potentially would have ended up with another draw here in terms of what we've had. And I say another draw, and we haven't really had that many draws. But, like, in terms of my performances, those are the types of games where I would drop points normally. Like, winning 1-0, usually I would concede in, like, the 85th minute and only pick up a point there. So I'm glad that I've kind of got that out of my system in this year's FIFA. I don't seem to be doing it as much as I did last year. I'm still doing it on Ultimate Team, though. I've had numerous occasions where I'm 2-0 up or 1-0 up with a few minutes to go, and then I just completely crumble. We had it against Spurs, of course, in that final in the last episode. We were 1-0 up until 6 minutes from time when I gave away that penalty. So there are occasions that I've done it, but thankfully we held on there to get the 3 points and take it away from the Hawthorns. So it was still quite a tough game, breaking down West Brom. They defended very well, but we just about managed to do so. So I think I am going to put the sliders back on, guys, for the next episode, and then play another episode with the sliders back on. Maybe I'll then take them off and see if that makes a difference in terms of the performances. But we're just basically trying it out right now, and it doesn't look as if we are going to be able to win the league title, guys. Watford right now just seem to be doing everything they need to do to hold on to it. Liverpool as well, and Man City are closing the gap right now, so we're not 100% safe, actually, in this top 4 spot. We could still lose it between now and the end of the season. But I simmed this one against Swansea here, guys. Saw we were at home and I thought, why not? And it was actually Marcus Rashford who scored in the 19th minute to give us the lead and eventually go on to give us the 3 points as well. Very important he did so. And that also includes, or increases, his goal tally for the season. Smolov's still out injured sadly though, so he cannot improve on his. Looks as if Insigne actually is chasing both of them down. So it's going to be between Smolov, Rashford, and Insigne to see who can pick up the Golden Boot this year, I think. So, yeah, we've got 2 players in there. And I'm going to be honest, I just want one of them to get it. And we then simmed another game. The final game that we're going to sim today is going to be Palace. Again, at home for this one. Palace were bottom of the league at this stage. So I felt comfortable simming this. I thought we should go on to win this one. Marcus Rashford again gets us off to a good start with a 12th minute goal. Before I do believe Tom Ince does go on to make the score 2-0 in the second half, which is about to happen right now. If you take a look, actually, at the bottom right, you can see some of the results coming through. Spurs 2-1 up against Newcastle, which, of course, Spurs are in the top 4 currently as well. There is Ince's second goal of the day, or rather, our second goal, Ince getting it. And so at the moment, as you see the league table just before we end today's episode off, I think it's us with Watford, Spurs, and City making the top 4. Although, I'm pretty sure there's one other team in there who's quite close as well. So right now, I don't particularly know what to make of this top 4. I'm looking at Liverpool and City. Oh, it's actually Liverpool, Spurs, and City, sorry. So yeah, actually, I got that wrong. It's Leicester, Bournemouth, and City all on 48. Look how close that is, guys, for the 5th place spot. And then you got Liverpool and Spurs just behind that. We're joint top with Watford, but Watford do have a game in hand. So I don't know what to make of this. We've got 7 games to go. Watford, with that game in hand, do have 8. We'll see how it all plays out in the next coming episodes, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed this one. If you did, a like rating would greatly appreciate it. I will catch you all again at 6 p.m. UK time tonight, guys, for another video. As always, thank you so much for watching and continue support, guys. I really do appreciate it. Catch you all later. Adios.